Wait, I just want to make sure the cap shell that was in your other team's thing. That's the one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I mean, links might change and stuff, but
Okay.
generally.
Hello. Sorry, I got lost.
No problem. When I was sent, no, just take your time.
Or was it just the...
Yeah, just.
Oh.
I'm good whenever.
Okay, you guys good?
I'm really done with it, sorry. Yeah.
Plan. The United States federal government should substantially increase fiscal redistribution in the United States by doubling federal jobs, continue to warn us resilient to inevitable recession, produce rampant unemployment by excluding private workers from labor force that guarantees prolonged slow growth or secular stagnation. Dr. 22. Pedals from recent recession even after unemployment is full labor force participation remains diverse. People economics slow to permanently leave. More long labor markets workers will be wage increases to explain the decline of participation for structural shifts cannot be explained by participation in countries with higher participation have more regulated markets. Americans are voluntarily leaving labor force supply conditions explain very little chronically insufficient demand produces insufficiency of job redundancy of the labor keeps wage growth lower and encourages workers to voluntarily leave given a given constrained job and wages. Sector nations after lessons from the pandemic is the rates have fallen greatly. Once they are currently on job gain, keeps perhaps filing and limit the fall. Church 18, the economy enters recession on average after 7 years with the job gain needs. Workers transitions without the job gain defeats. Entrepreneur economies the program is a good and needs stabilization and not use the unemployed to stabilize inflation. It uses the cost of unemployment and we job gain waste stagnation. Sure, all the growth is temporary as bubbling, job gaining yourself the road from future crisis while checking enough productivity to overcome secular stagnation rate. All 18. Americans are leaving the labor force, weak job creators and stagnant wages, short-lived expansion provided by unstable bubbles. Once the bubbles return, burst, we return to secular stagnation, deficient aggregate management, discouraged worker back. The U.S. operated with substantial labor tax that reduces the incentive to innovate. Vicious cycle disadvantage keeps growth lower to increase aggregate demand and productivity growth. And secular economic stagnation crisis still remains nuclear war proliferation or in every other great power conflict more likely. Oppenheimer 21. Stagnation increases the likelihood of liberal globalization, multi-polarity, and national define our future. This looks to set that the next recession will be particularly nasty unless governments change course radically, forces actively use geopolitical conflict lead to more worthy lower growth through joblessness, waste, stagnation, and constitutional forbidding stress as the stress will continue lead to nuclear weapons collapse and arms control, MBT, and accelerating arms race, August Valley, and global war and existential risk are inevitable unless the U.S. avoids relative economic decline. House 20. Isolation is not an option. There's a real danger of under reach. Do we go back to constant wars? We need a greater and messy place to narrow emerging global challenges like health or climate, terrorism, proliferation, Russia, Iran, Korea, and China. Now, advantage 2 is workers. The first scenario is agriculture job. The plan solves through provides global recycling program, solves regenerative and industrial agriculture, water pollution from agriculture, runoff, and sustainable ocean farming. Chapter 22. Recycling programs can save the ocean from plastic shopping. The GG can implement sustainable fishing and ocean farming. Reef reconstruction coastal communities must suffer mass unemployment. Big agriculture has led to abusive practices and has reduced water crisis, soil erosion, antibiotic resistance. Sustainable agriculture is critical. Relies on regenerative agriculture. Job guarantee multiplies uses by focusing on sustainable ag and improving U.S. soil health, supercharges agriculture productivity and logs in global food security. It's a reverse casual glycose 21. Degraded soils reduce harvest by 40% in the Midwest. 100-year analysis found that degraded soils at 60% corn, lower corn yields that threatens global food security and food insecurity goes nuclear. Code 22. Hunger snowballs into government failures or civil wars and refugees, tsunamis, regions of the world are at high risk of food failure and conflict, future ranging from riots to nuclear war and nature pollution and existential collapses, ocean down waste, climate change, U.S. runoff reduction by sonic and Friday extinction. Craig 22. There are two boundaries far more worrisome: climate change, nutrient pollution. Nutrient pollution is a marine problem. Runoff carries excess fertilizer or nutrients, induce large marine size. The balloons die off. The number of deaths has doubled. We are reducing stressors that hold the chances that the entire planet is adversely caused. Thus, reducing nutrient pollution. The U.S. might buy humanity enough time to figure out solutions. Scenario 2 is unions. Biden will inevitably push democratic norms globally, but weak unions ensures that authoritarianism prevails. Third 23. Biden prioritizes illustrated shifts in the U.S. thinking focused on organized labor and democracy. Unions are essential to democracy. We need a strong labor movement. Biden casts himself as a pro-union. How that rhetoric translates into meaningful action is complicated. Biden embarked on a modest slate of efforts. The union's capacity to force political change far outweighs smaller organization. Studies point to the democratic decline in the West and important for the U.S. to use the cloud of economic power to support workers, and the plan's vital to resurrect unions and empower the working class. Costello 19. If job creating means a public working program counter-cyclical solution and worker fair comparison makes little sense. Workers would be emboldened to strike. The workers force itself would grow. A job guarantee would make mass unionization possible again. With a weak union movement, it's unclear how earners would have social leverage, and only a job guarantee attacks the economic moves at the release at the root of inequality. Building social solidarity is key. Hook 17. A job guarantee can transform the social safety net and strengthen social solidarity. Mallees and inequality, stagnant wages, and diminished labor force participation is destabilizing, and popularization threatens to collapse American society. Only empowering unions and the working class violent escalation. Church 23. The popularization when the economy fortunes across vast decline, millions per capita, quadruple while the relative wage decline, conversation stirred up social strike, preceded popular violence. America's current economy might require a violent revolution, and U.S. breakdown goes global and nuclear causation. Lemon 17. A civil war, not an America, China, Russia, Korea, Iran. It'll destroy whatever war doesn't. A world war with nuclear powers will follow. Now, next, advantage 3 is framing debates about hypothetical political action, improve capacity, motivation, and ability to inaugurate change in a myriad of human activities. League 16. Students can develop information literacy and how to make critical arguments. This experience is politically empowering, but students is able to recognize when information is needed, understanding policy issues, also contemplating the range of materials and policy debates motivate students to go beyond the basic information to achieve a more advanced level of expertise and credibility on the topic, cultivating well-rounded information gathering aid for students in recognizing how their knowledge produced in their social environments can be effectively translated to specific complex information when individuals move together to materials for a task or cognitive awareness. They are engaged in an informed learning. The government has developed legal and process, and then while shared values are often quickly agreed upon, differences are over fact are more difficult to resolve. This is precisely why policy debate is a valuable component. Even minimal increase in technical knowledge about politics can translate into significant increases in the students' sense of self-efficacy. The orientation of thought is to have a purpose, is recognized, moving from providing a knowledge to providing a knowledge for policy debate. Pedagogy release students to know and engage in social conditions while also challenging them applying their knowledge for the purpose of political advocacy policy debates facilitate the political learning. Students need to build their political efficacy and capacity for political engagement. Using this knowledge is reasonable public argument about political change and advise students to move beyond cynical disengagement and debates about values and its role playing as agents outside of ourselves, which opens up a new space for solution-oriented practice. Debates focus on ourselves as agents of change or as a mindset to change will never access this transformative power. Role playing is the only way to move forward. NGO to 18. If we're going to engage in the world and change making, it would also be important to understand the contradiction and paradoxes of our own way of knowing, but also sit at the edge of the being engendered in this way of knowing that we can engage in the world without trying to project our delusions onto the world itself. We can't create a different system from ashes of the system that hasn't yet cooled. People want results straight away. They want the substitute system that they have for something they know that they can control. What we need is not to replace the system right away, because we will end up reproducing the old system whether we like it or not. What we need to do is experimentation. What we need to do is experimentation. This is saying at the limits of what is perceived as possible as what we know the learning can take place in this space, or through failure becomes a fertilizer for something that else happens when the ashes go down. Failures also exist in terms of the learning or it generates. It can also be condemned to conceive of systems change in terms of ourselves, our communities, or even the societies where we live. But thinking about those changes or who are coming next opens up a different opportunity. Now, capitalism is sustainable and self-correcting. Profits, income, savings, and productivity are all trending upwards, and public investment ensures adaptability. Or Route 21, believe what defined capitalism above all is the ceaseless pursuit of accumulation for its own high saving rates. Where the engine propelling capitalism forward is not the world, and the global savings rates have been trending upward. There is no sign of any crisis on the score. Innovation and boosting global TFP and living standards.
Are you open for cross-site?
Give me a sec.
Sure.
I'm good.
Who can get the jobs guarantee?
Anybody who wants it.
Anyone who wants it. How old do you have to be?
Normal means is 18.
Okay. Can I be fired from the jobs guarantee?
We say that you can be like any
hired,
job, you can be fired, but you can also be rehired.
Okay, so I can keep getting fired from my job and get another guarantee?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the wage?
Minimum wage is 15. I mean, normal means is 15.
Okay, 15. The federal minimum wage. Cool.
No, not minimum wage. I misspoke. I said normal means is 15.
So $15 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, what farms does the jobs guarantee send workers to?
I don't think we need to specify like where.
Okay, here, help me understand, what farms does the federal government own?
We talk about we don't need to win a claim that the federal government owns farms.
Okay, so cool. So you send them to privately owned farms. So how do you ensure that these privately owned farms are not big ag farms?
There's no reason why. Like, the evidence specifically doesn't talk about making farms, but it talks about big agriculture. That's like a really big difference from what
I understand. So which part of the AFF delineates sending workers to work at big ag farms versus small ag farms?
Right. The job guarantee causes making a sustainable like resources, which means that
I understand that's your claim.
It doesn't have to
point
be
me to a line in the evidence that the jobs guarantee will send people.
It says sustainable agriculture is critical, relies on regenerative farming. The job guarantee, if you make that claim, we'll respond to it in the 2AC. But right now we're saying.
Well, I'm asking you about it right now, so could you just answer the question?
I don't understand the question. The federal government can create farms. Like, I don't know.
So the federal government creates farms is how the AFF generates the agriculture advantage. Okay, what do you do about big ag then?
Because it's a trade-off. Like, if people are, that's
so
really
if
clear
the
to see.
Federal
There's
regenerative.
if there's regenerative small agriculture, then they won't.
Matter.
Then the big ag won't be used as much if there's small agriculture.
Let me get this clear.
Sustainable.
If the federal government creates its own small farms, that will outweigh the impacts of big ag because there's competition.
Yeah.
Okay. The federal government creates farms. Got you. So walk me through how the job guarantee unions look. Can the federal government regulate these unions?
No.
The federal government cannot regulate these unions?
No, unions are private. Like, what?
The unions are private? Okay, so who is in
I mean,
charge
that would
of
kind
these
of
unions?
ruin the purpose if it was, like, directed by the federal government.
Okay. So who is in charge of these unions?
The union leaders.
Okay, how are union leaders decided? Is there a vote?
That's up to the union. We only fee out the
So every union for every different branch of the jobs
Well,
guarantee.
I think you're getting
decides
confused.
who
I think
the
you're getting
leadership
confused
is?
on like what unions are, because like the evidence states that like right now unions are low
on,
in the
so-
status quo. We just increased the unions.
Wait.
The
So
argument is
I
not
just
that
want to make
unions
sure we
are
understand.
broken,
The
but
federal
that we
government in the
increase.
status quo regulates unions. You are saying the unions
No,
of the
that's
jobs
not
guarantee
true.
would
That's,
not be
that's
regulated.
not true. The federal government does not like. Where are you getting this
That
evidence?
doesn't regulate unions. Okay.
I just don't think that's true.
Okay, you're good.
Something about right now. It's one-off case in the order of the 1AC. Okay, it's been sent out. Could I borrow your stand?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, Judge, I forgot to ask you. Is it okay if we're filming ourselves?
Yeah.
Okay, one-off case. Let me know when everyone has it.
Just got it.
Sorry, is everyone good?
Okay.
Wait 1 sec, I'm downloading. Okay, I got it.
First off, the jobs guarantee is intended to crush worker power and makes the unemployed subject to total state control. Any remaining safety left their stash, which makes the alt mechanism try or die, then slinger 20. A jobs guarantee is denied to suppress mutual systems kindly. Beggars can't be choosers, so they hire captive to demands of their workers for better conditions. The job guarantee creates loose full employment rather than tight full employment by definition. Any worker takes a JG as a zero-bid business are more likely to resist wage demands. Pay is fixed. Participants have no right to collectively bargain. Participants likely to be compliant that are attracted to employers because of greater tax to those in employment than those unemployment. Wage bargaining advocates abolishing unemployment are suggested to her into work under JGO. Employers have more power to discipline. Job guarantees more disempowered than unemployment, which should consider the pro-capitalist anti-worker nature of job guarantee to be its selling point. Next, the jobs guarantee is a trick of choice that locks workers into a pool of unemployed awaiting their next assignment, which is either too low to start bargaining price or too high to generate mass backlash. Hashtag freeze that hashtag freeze that was in 20 employer blast resort holds only if the wages set by the JG is too low enough to not allow workers to demand higher wages or wages are superfluous so low not sharp. Girl, that program is used to discipline the wage demands not as a bargaining tool but as a price stabilization mechanism. Pays them with a wage low enough to allow employers to retain workers when wage demands are too high at $15 per hour. The new minimum wage 40 million currently order earning less. How should employers are rating this kind of worker refuse employment slacks? It's a program should turn us suggest the work outside of the program will always be hard to imagine this at GG. Demands no education. Many jobs that perform this imagine requires considerable training. Jobs retrofitting, renewable energy, farm, transportation, repairing, infrastructure, teachers, healthcare, and child work is very few could be part of temporary program for workers displaced by private sector. Not a contradiction at the heart of the JGA. No working class power. Next, the AFF eliminates the welfare state, stigmatizes the recipients and conditions life on labor that enshrines the rules of capitalist economy, which turns their impacts. That's King 20. The guarantee is the first step toward elimination of welfare. JG thinkers do not wish to see their tax dollars redistributed to those engaged in labor. This signifies welfare and premium wage labor as outside of the work and earned income reinforces the rules of capitalist economy and rewarding effort. Welfare earned unearned JG writers and embedded as a producer as this reframe productive labor essential to dignity and build a normative foundation for reform. They obscure vital unpaid social reproductive labor production and rates dependent on the hidden reproductive labor as governments impose austerity on more work is loaded onto the family policy for a focus on increased labor participation contributes to valorizing employment as at the expense of more equity, equally contemporary advocates privilege paid work, lack of recognition for reproductive labor, and welfare, and replace it with workfare. Their focus on activation set the conditions for the program to serve as welfare to work, lack of eligibility criteria combined with stringent means testing facilitate the JG's transmutation into work for discourse of discourse of labor activation taken up by politicians and cutting social programs. Next, the impact is global civil war, drowning up tensions, commercial trying to distract from crisis, accelerates the tendency to overaccumulate, causing extinction through nuclear war, climate change, superviruses, racial fascism, and rapid inequality. That's Robinson 21. The U.S. is launching a cold war against Russia and China to deflect our attention away from wrestling crisis of capital, aggressive posture, mission of war, and military confrontation, or having discussed the crisis of capitalism. The U.S. must channel its hero over survival away from the system and towards external enemies. China and Russia rising just legitimate profit towards or overaccumulation produce great wealth, but the market cannot absorb this because of inequity without personal undermining stability. The system concentrates concentration wealth, and accelerated disposition means that TCC has difficulty finding outlets to unload the surplus results in crisis. The economy never fully recovered from earlier teetering on the brink of crisis ever since structural crisis of overpopulation are in a sustainable era of permanent and global war, border walls, immigration, detention centers, prison, industrial complexes, mass surveillance, all become more important to the system. Must be despite to the Cold War services for international tensions, arriving contradiction of capitalism, providing downward wages, union busting, inequality, prices, illegitimacy, destabilized national system, international friction, escalated states maintain tensions. It's Washington that's conjuring it is Washington that is conjuring up the Cold War based on threat from China and Russia. The drive for the capitalists is to externalize the crisis and increases the danger that tensions will lead to war, or the crisis existential ecological collapse, nuclear war, planet Asia pandemics pushing towards expansion through wars, and dispossessing 80% live on less than $10 today of the crisis, and animates neo-fascist force and contradiction of the crisis ridden system, and enable the breaking point in placing the war and global civil war. Next alternative is to affirm the Communist Party base building a dual power, organizing with the aim of supplanting the state through revolution to impose a monopoly of the working class, and the only hope for resolving the contradictions of capitalism. That's Burns 18. Revolutionary base building means organizing workplace against sending unions community self-defense enemy, the truth and forceful overthrow of all existing social conditions and comparative poverty, white supremacy, patriarchy, empire, the capitalist government. That means building capacity, launching a revolutionary uprising, the capital monopoly forced by the working class, structuring the economy according to democratic, ecological, and scientific plan, institutions outside and against the state, and displace the state of the capitalist state. It can be separated from its functioning, expanding and rearranged the expectation while tying left to the state. Revolutionary base building sometimes organizing workers with commitment to revolution doesn't mean talking like protest and behaving like governments after more than just the base. Revolution means replacing the government, not reforming or create organizational structures through which power can be transferred to the dispossessed without it. The goal creates another avenue for capitalist policies, even if you call it socialism. Next, econ advantage one. One is that structural factors block full employment with a guarantee won't fix. That's not these 18 there could be still some unemployment caregivers, retirees, and disabled people are in the workforce due to real job turn. Structural employment is not decided by people who are recently incarcerated. People face barriers they've been out of the workforce. Some people with barriers is difficult, not best accomplished by a universal program. Health insurance don't cover support job requiring training. Jobs guarantees not the same as health and disability guarantee. Next, two, growth is unsustainable and causes extinction. Impossibility of decoupling with available time. That states degrowth. That's SAR 21. With 1 degree Celsius, we are seeing severe impacts. Tipping point would be uncontrollable. It says the social variety losses unprecedented humans depend on the ecosystem. Scientists agree growth of trade as extraction must be quickly curtailed. Most emissions reductions have occurred during recessionary reductions in growth are necessary to address all drivers of extinction occurring. Use already some direction cycle biology and climate and should be laws to illustrate the thermodynamic impossibility growth. Treasury even innovation substitution and indicates a catastrophic outcome. Carbon pricing, improving efficiency, renewable energy, and lastly geoengineering is too risky. Evans paradox increases the use of regardless of efficiency, emissions increase. Renewables assume that 1 unit will displace fossil fuel energy. Mark the card of fossil fuel energy. And recessions, moderated war, upswings, inflames, and now 19, the relationship between business and the war all failed to die. Deforestation, working occur at any time, expansion, crisis, recession, recovery, so it's unrealistic to assume war secure at any particular stage. So resources for wars are huge. In depression, wars are reasons for all stages of origins. Now, when precious base is during recession or prosperity, wars often occur in upturn, which caused by optimism to prevail. That answers the Oppenheimer card. And 3, no secular stagnation. The Economist 15 authors examine growth in 20 countries over 40 years of stormy periods of short-lived stagnations and misinterpreting evidence. Growth is not illusory. The economy looks more like distortion than stagnation, or it's inevitable. That's Krugman 22. Stagnation is wrongly construed. What causes stagnation? Demography of the population is shrinking. There's much less demand, likely to intensify. And 5 is that there's no 3 is that there's no impact of stagnation. That post in 16 confidence and resilience is just 5 years are exaggerated and undependent. The use of growing more sustainability are at slower rates, normalizing through the poor with stable conditions, far better public policies, or decentralized responses, increased resilience, diminish spillovers between economies, and created room for stimulus. And workers advantage. First is the ag scenario. One is that there's no food wars, no causal evidence. That's Rosencrantz 13. Food price coincided with rise. Higher prices led to instability only for poor countries. So the Romans mitigate the impact of relation between food and civil war. Disappears motivation for policy rather than and war. Food insecurity is conflicting contingent on other factors. To say establish causation is elusive. Lack of evidence. Policies can reduce variability. Next, 2 is that ecosystems are resilient. That's already 21. Correspond frequency crisis all counter hypotheses. Synthetic production of oxygen combined with ability to utilize oxygen to create oxygen native microhabitats. Evidence point to adaptation to hypoxia, high tolerance through surface air. Global adaptations offer protections against deoxygenation, even extreme when species persists. 4, they can't solve for big 3, they can't solve for big farms. Use small farms without way big out of impossible. Caitlin killed the scenario aroused explores that it's extra T creation of farms, not normal means. American research word with no predictability. Expose limits for that. Feels fairness and education. 5 is the union scenario. They can't solve inequality. A, the planet's minimum wage. You can assume that because they said it in class. That's the federal definition. They're obviously not sufficient because of this quote. B is that the rich stay richer. Wealthy still exists. C, it's work. Is the handicapped and others unable to work full time are excluded from society because they're seen as unproductive. And D is that unions are used as scapegoats for the populist movement, increases discrimination, which turns out 7 is that 5 is that inequality doesn't cause diversionary war that's really 16 inequality neither directly affects chauvinism, which is the higher economic division exhibit a weaker relation because they national identify chauvinism and affects inequality apart from significant scholars are placing deterministic view that identification necessarily leads to antagonism contrary to what given interest theory of national mobilization. Neither economic inequality nor diversionary were related to chauvinism. Back on the workers scenario. Actually no. Okay, that's fine. I marked one card. Do you need a marked copy?
Just can you tell me the card you stopped?
Yeah, it was. I marked
The Arial 16, right? Arial.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. No, I read the Arial 16 card. I marked. Hold on. Let me find. I had it this space. Did I know I marked a card. Hold on. I added like a space into the doc. Oh yeah, I marked the Stewart card at oh my god. Sorry. I marked the Stewart card at will displace fossil fuel energy. And then I'm good for cross-ex.
Okay.
What cards did you not read on the econ advantage? I thought you skipped one.
Yeah, I skipped cards, but I marked that card. I skipped the Pathologos, number 3, the jobs guarantee fails.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that's all I skipped.
Okay. You read no impact to
This is
stat.
cross-ex, right?
Yeah, it
this
is.
This is you read no impact to stat, right?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Alright, let's go to the link. How does this how does the yeah, I'm going to it. Sorry. The King 20 card, it talks about why would the welfare, like, what evidence have you read that a job guarantee means, like, where do you think you've read a line that means a trade-off from welfare programs?
We think that a reaction to...
Yeah, I'm asking for, like, a line where you think this evidence
I don't
says
think
that.
you can fiat the reaction to the federal jobs guarantee. If that's what you're trying to claim to skew out of this, I don't
Well,
think
it's
that's
like the
what-
funding mechanism, no? Like,
So, in reaction to a federal jobs
like I'm
guarantee,
asking
it
for a
just
line,
means-
where do you think you've read that? In the King 20
I don't
evidence.
think I need to read a line that says that you aren't allowed to
Contemporary
fiat.
advocates privilege paid work, lack recognition of reproductive labor, end welfare, and replace with workfare. Also, the Slagar evidence
Where does
is
that
the austerity link, i.e., in order to implement a federal jobs guarantee, libertarians will cut other welfare programs. It names SNAP, the EITC, and WIC, I believe, in order to fund the jobs guarantee and remove complaints of a larger welfare state.
Let's go to the wage link. Why does this card not go AFF? It talks about how the capitalism system is that in the private sector right now it's below $15 and workers aren't getting below 15.
This is
the
the first King card?
Oh, it's the wage link?
Yeah.
Yeah, how does this card not go AFF?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I was
Like, the card talks about how, like, workers right now are getting below $15. If the AFF gives them $15, why does this not flip AFF?
Yeah, we think that inflation is going to increase. You haven't indicated, well, first of all, like, under this quote, inflation is
Wait,
going to increase.
so inflation... Okay, continue, sorry. Wait.
Yeah. We think in this quote, inflation is going to go up, the federal minimum wage is going to go up. You haven't indicated that a durable, like, fiat means that it increases, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, cool. Let's go to the
It's also like 40 million people are going to join.
Let's go to the impact.
Well, it's also like 40 million people are also going to join the JG. Like, completely shifts like our current like regulations, and like plus.
Let's go to the impact level. If on the global civil war, where do you think you've read evidence that U.S. cap spills over?
I think that the U.S. serves as a model for other countries right now. You've read evidence that indicates in the 1AC
Says that
the
quote, the U.S.
spills
is launching a Cold War
War?
against Russia and China.
Okay, I think that's independently a bad thing, but also like your terror card from the 1AC indicates that Biden is pushing U.S. norms globally, means that it supports the capitalist system, probably not bad.
Let's talk about unions.
Your own terror card from the 1AC.
10.
Stop it. How much was used?
7 to 11.
Oh, wait, let me see if this formatting is fine for you guys.
How much was it?
7 11.
Okay. Okay, I get this stand.
Oh yes. That didn't happen.
Well, one sec. Okay, let me just send this out.
I'm sorry. I'm breaking your stuff.
No, there's something wrong with this stand. It's like this part comes. Don't worry. Ronnie, can you do it?
Yeah, I'll see. Send.
Okay, just let me know when you guys get it.
Now it looks like it's gonna tip over, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. The stand was fine earlier. Now it's like weird. Something happened. Okay, let me read the one.
Different legs.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Because that one that can go up twice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw that too.
sorry.
That's good. Don't want the computer to fall on the beach.
It's not even going anywhere down.
Just make the other one.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, no, I actually just don't know what to do.
I did it where all
Just
the
read off
legs
the
are up.
chair if it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to waste more time.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'll just read off check. This thing's just
Did everybody get the 2 AC?
Yeah, I'm downloading it right now.
Yeah, same. Got it.
Yeah, wait. Okay, wait. I'm just gonna take a second. Perhaps.
Okay.
Stop that.
3 seconds, so it's 7:08.
I'm not writing that.
That's
Everybody got it.
Yep.
Wait, let me get water. Resilience, recessions are inevitable, weak job creation, wage stagnation, ensure economic downturn that collapses the economy, economic collapse causes it's a crisis excel to make job conflict inevitable and more dangerous, but the plan solves it, increases job creation and wages while protecting state revenues that heat emerging tech regulation, those guarantee long-term adaptability and survival against existential risks like nuclear war, pandemics, and AI. At 1C1, wrong, our Dante's evidence is that most people over the age of 55 are interested in a jobs guarantee, have the motivation to work, refer Dante's because it's 5 years newer than at 1C2. I'll read another card, but also extend 1C row 21 that capitalism is sustainable and self-correcting profits, incomes, saving and productivity are all trending upwards, and public investment ensures adaptability and sustainable transition is impossible. Alternative risk of exchange rate 20 to luxuries of living standards, billions of property from legacy from capitalist economy, inequality, injustice, climate change, best interest through innovation, rationing like capitalism is not benefit only their only trade-offs shows the one stage ownership markets are better, and prices are too high, guys are too limited, prices are low, literacy, and socialism would be better than predecessors, the markets are rationing risk socialists. Mark the card there. At 1 and C4, wrong, they don't, the evidence is old and from when there was no COVID in pre-recession. Dante says now the economy, when it hits a recession, has a high chance of war, then had no signs of secular stagnation. Yes, stagnation. Now all the economy studies are pre-COVID because all the economic studies are pre-COVID because it was a presentation given in January and published in 2015. It doesn't assume one of our largest unemployment strikes in history, nor a falling GDP and a lack of sustainable jobs or inflation, which our evidence does. And then at post in 16, it's wrong. The Rosen pre-COVID and doesn't assume our current labor conditions, stagnant wages, or supply chain collapses, and concedes public policy can improve resilience. And then at the Oppenheimer, this is wrong. No evidence that they've highlighted that shows that this is also stabilize the function and also stabilization of functions save the economy with the job guarantee. So we respond to this. This is thumb. Now add. Industrial acts, unsustainable soil degradation, ocean acidification, and high emissions all guarantee existential climate exchange and inability of the biosphere with the plan solves increase, lower recycling programs, sustainable farming, long-term sustainability effort that stabilize food production with otherwise creates regional and international instability, causes war. I want to see when food insecurities combined with war conditions, i.e. income and jobs escalate by PL 18, more offers low incomes, world living conditions, and population more vulnerable to radicalization, recruitment contributing to escalation of violence. I want to see two wrong. The evidence is all, for our evidence, all of our Craig and Trajana evidence say that ecosystems are becoming vulnerable now. And then at 1 and C3, no, we can solve big farms. Yes, there's evidence that a JG can solve. The Chicherna evidence specifically says that we will solve in the future, and that industrial ag is becoming unsustainable now, and that big farms are only solvable by a job guarantee. Unions, weak domestic unions in this quo ensure authoritarianism repeal, but only a job guarantee can ensure unions attack the root of inequality, building social solidarity is key to stopping liberalization from threatening to collapse in American society. Only empowering unions in the working class will prevent isolation. Now, at the extra T, creating small farms is a norm that our evidence indicates no reason on why small farm yields fairness and makes education them. Then no rest by because that kills our predictability and results in mixing borders. Then unions can solve no reason why the amount of money drives up inflation. That's the warrant. And all people are offered the job. The poor gets jobs too. So even the economy evens out in the private sector. And then inequality doesn't cause a diversity war. It's a civil war impact. Yeah. One interpretation evaluate the consequences of the implementation of the plan against the status quo or competitive alternative preferred. Debate is a game proven by the speech on wins, losses, trophies, etc. Then gives participation within it, pursuit that participation with the debate is a good thing. Any other interpretation arbitrary and infinitely regressive because it shifts the discussion away from the content of the vermin, which moves 8 minutes of our speech and restarts the debate in the 1 and C3 impacts A, fairness, mooning, forces it too easy to be devoid of relevant content that starts the AFF and structural disadvantage clash their interpretation at least half often by shooting the turns of debate away from their substance of the 1 and C, which guarantees generic and shallow debates that turns their interpretation because teams response to shallow debates as dogmatism, which replicates the A's impact, then AFF is equal to AFF is a form of role experimentation allowing debaters to imagine alternative futures engaging among mind grow political experience that builds commonality, collective political engagement, factoring. C is acted as an analytic. I'm not going to read the card. 2, the AFF outweighs A, solving secular avoids hostile escalation, proliferation risk. That's open on B, the AFF investment in economy solves the revolution with regenerative act. That's great. 3, renewable only burn solve taming and eroding capitalism through a political system is key. Right. 15, how to be capitalism in the 21st century, give up the pain of smashing capitalism. Capitalism is not smashable. You must be personally be able to escape capitalism, minimizing your involvement, but this is our lead track. The potential to foster social emancipation, taming and eroding capitalism are the only viable art. Taming capitalism through public policy to renew social democracy, neutralizes arms ability, initiative to build real world utopias. 4, permanent plan through the lens of the all mind shift the links to the app. 5, on the link at the magniguralism link. Management is inevitable. Mass intervention will something should less actively reverse. 99 it is necessary not only to stop cutting forward, but to rebel the real economy proposal for the action interventions are be a matter of leaving us if we preserve what remains to preserve patterns of unequality. The world will run the development of policy require the action must be formulated by with people to exercise. At the wage that gets wrong, we say that 15 cargoes AFF it talks about how why workers are earning less than $15 in the private sector, but the AFF stops that, and then the wage link in the welfare state is wrong. GG would expand the safety net, wouldn't result in this program cuts and would resolve systematic poverty. Presley 21 job guarantee project was strengthening communities and regional community project would help the justice system and inequities the federal government helped to create, and the project would create new jobs and it would not displace existing public sector wage for job guarantee employment would be no less than $15 per hour and having adjusted on a regular basis to ensure a rising standard of living. Mark the card there. Welfare. And then at the welfare state, no, we deficit spend through a counter-cyclical budget, meaning that we don't trade off from any programs that mandate the plan. And A, and then D, no link to AFF decreases exploitation by increasing that wage force and benefits incentivize full employment. That's hooked in 6 for the all, and then you have 7 on the all. A, the all fails, risk authority and take over in the best case scenario. Albert 23, transition occur in political economic crisis, even the best case scenario movement shift about lead to authority and jobs that institutionalize subvention over all social intervention and reactionary authoritarian measures to enforce lifestyle changes operated by political economic crisis almost certainly rapid far right is resisted. B, the all fails, only mass mobilization through union provide an electoral program that militates against otherwise all results in inevitable racism and xenophobia. Because still in 19, post-war utopias are often painted in rosy color when individuals are free to explore their own drives into virus. National racism, misogyny, and xenophobia are all perform a similar function of that organic accelerated with the potential for class with unity. Post-work socialists seem to celebrate individually oriented communities approach to social policy, which also concern ourselves with a vision of society that makes us seriously restructuring of the labor market to avoid the worst effects of unemployment. C, fake also when you should reject they kill fairness by making burdens of also polluting kill half the seasons because they don't have to thoroughly defend a position. D, all is wrong results in states opposite. 17, the practice makes us feel good because not the same as effective act to be the opposite. said that they have learned political judo there me accounts of the FBS and having an approved organization without the purpose of dividing, disrupting, and disrupting the civil rights movement in the ruling class to develop corporate strategies for undermining the new radicalism and the agent disclosure of the consecrated anti-taxing revolutionary acts to disrupt the movement, letting them into disrupting the most effective American jobs, people were moving Asian proctors, surface during the process against our war and occupy this manipulation token to A perm to the AFF and then the all nine cap good sustainable A war the spread of capitalism causes world peace from 719. The world is moving rapidly toward market economies of self-determination for a robust global order is not possible. They are natural lines to protect the global order through the governments through wars minor powers with a weakened market exploitation bandwagon active market according to power community and permanent world peace. A B inequality and poverty Judas 17 capitalism pointing in the right direction but you can't really you had a market equitable growth government investment country will eventually embrace a long tradition of industrial capitalism opposing industrial service based capitalism which will productivity growth and rising inequality hasn't been totally demonstrated to recognize itself around an economic program better growth and better distribution making the social society better and implementing more important reform which was very much undermined by the economic situation left has made the easiest time making advance and improving society getting to a new stage of capitalist growth to new steps forward one step back good old growth not clear that we have required to establish secession eventually we will adopt. Okay, I have 40 seconds. Alright, just quickly back on case.
Oh wait, finish that card on the link.
I did. I finished everything.
No, not this one.
Oh, okay. I'll finish the card on the link. Benefits would include health insurance consistent with the provided for existing federal government employees, at 6 days pay, family medical leave, retirement benefits, and vacation. The federal job guarantee would meaningfully expand our social safety net and would not replace any existing safety net programs or benefits, including employment insurance. Okay, and then back on case, they dropped the emerging tech scenario on the econ advantage. On the union scenario, they dropped a civil war impact. It's not a diversionary war. Oh, sorry, we actually didn't read emerging tech. That's a different one. And then on ag, oh yeah, okay, fine.
Oh wait, actually no, it's fine.
All right, yeah.
Alright.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not usually 2A. I forgot about that. Okay, that's 30 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Sorry, I am getting to this page. I'm a mess right now. Okay. Framework interpretation. I guess. What do you defend about the fiat?
Well, we defend fiat's good. We've read multiple cards. We read cards in the 1AC.
Does the NEG get reciprocal fiat?
What?
What?
Does the NEG get reciprocal fiat underneath your fiat? I'm sorry, underneath your framework.
Well, the framework isn't about whether the
Yeah,
AF gets
no,
fiat or
it's-
not.
it's-
It's
You know
about
what, never
weighing
mind,
the
that's
Yeah, I
implementing.
don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. Perm do the plan through the lens of the alt. I guess. What does this look like? Is it
I mean-
Like to a
I mean, like
communist
just like
rendition.
we just wait. What?
what do you define the lens of the alt?
Well, we define the lens of the alt is the Communist Party, right? Like that's the alternative, right? So we would do the plan through the lens of the alternative, which
So
is the
alternative
Communist
is
Party.
base power, dual power base building. Does the perm do through the lens of alt involve dual power
Well,
base building?
I mean, yeah.
That is an action of the alt, not a
Well,
lens of the alt.
your Burns 18.
What is your
your-
distinction of what a lens of the alt is?
Well, your Burns 18 evidence specifically says that base building and dual power organizing with the aim of supplementing through state through evolution to impose of the working class. But you're affirming, the alternative is to affirm the Communist Party. But we believe that the perm do the plan, and then we do it through a community party based on base building and dual power. It's very simple.
Perm do the alt and then do the app. I guess does this look like we do dual power base building and then a
Plan.
like what is giving out these federal job guarantee?
I mean, you would just first do the alt, then the app. What's the question?
So I guess you've indicated that the federal government is doing the plan. It's creating small farms, things like that. I guess does the federal government exist as a prerequisite to the alt? As a prerequisite to doing that.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously, but like, what the?
So you're creating a
Wait,
federal government, like you're keeping the
the
federal
federal
government after the alt.
Yeah.
I guess how does this solve for any of the capitalist, any of
Well,
the
because
impacts?
we're still doing the alternative. Like, I don't understand. Like, we're still the alternative still happens. Like,
Okay, that's fine.
Like you haven't made a claim that the alternative
Stop.
breaks the federal government.
That's fine. The Gestella card, the union card, I guess
Yeah.
inevitable racism and xenophobia.
Yeah.
So xenophobia
This
exists
card-
in unions right now. Unions have empirically discriminated
no,
against.
but okay, wait. This card is like really good, and you should like star it on your flow. Like, this card is great, and like Gestella 19 is specific about how post-work utopia is like Communist Party alternatives and all of that type of stuff is actually painted. It was painted in like rosy colors and like where individuals are free to explore their own lives, but it's all wrong because it actually like produces nationalism, racism, misogyny, and like in Gustella 19, he specifically also states, while this is not only an all fails card, but also that unions can actually
This
solve.
card doesn't say
through
unions
them.
anywhere.
Yeah, but it specifically talks about how like the vision of society with working and restructuring the labor market through like employment. That's all union based. Like it doesn't specifically say the word unions,
Okay, sure, but still,
like
unions have like historically been like racist. How does
you
the
can make that. You
act
can
like-
make that argument if you want. You haven't made that argument.
Okay, that's fine.
10. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, 10 minutes.
347. It's just the cap K.
Is that 351?
I have 347. 347.
Okay.
Whatever. Okay, I'm sending it out right now. Okay. Okay, the twin-seats been sent. Can I? I'll grab that chair. That's fine. Let me know when you all receive it.
Is there any like particular order you're gonna go in, like a framework first or like the link?
It's just going down the case.
Okay, just
Yeah, I'm going down the line.
alright,
I'll
cool.
signpost everything.
Cool, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, give me a second. I'm trying to download it.
Yeah,
Sure.
I actually need to open it too. One sec.
Alright. This is the right. I'm just making sure with you. This
Oh,
is
oops, the title looked
Oh,
completely
yeah,
wrong,
I just
but-
wanna make
yeah,
sure
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
okay.
yep.
I'm good.
Okay, if anyone's not ready, go ahead and stop me. Otherwise, I'll begin. Cool. The world is approaching complete destruction, fueled by intersecting crises of capitalism that divide the proletariat in support of war making abroad. The pseudo reform of the jobs guarantee only works to force people into permanent, cheap labor. You'll be fired and rehired as necessary in a way that gives the federal government ultimate authority in who gets to survive and who doesn't. Those that don't labor or meet intense checks on qualifications will be thrown out, and the plan's austerity guarantees there's no safety net. That locks in terminal policy failure and makes the alt try or die. First is framework, counterinterpretation, weigh the AFF based on its justifications. That means they don't get a perm if we win a link. One is predictable. Debate solely about consequences, crowd out substantive research and investigation, which turns the endpoint of their clash offense because it makes us worse advocates. Second is education. Imagine their model scaled outside the room. Policymakers not focused on justifications cause atrocities. The McCarthy Army trials, Japanese internment camps, and Nagasaki prove our model solves the best portable skills to bring into the world that forces the AFF to defend their justifications. Third is fairness. They can weigh justifications of their plan. They wrote and read it means they implicitly agree to scholarly scrutiny, even if the impact is irrelevant. Debate is tainted by bias, richer schools, faster talkers, and structural issues. Four is clash. Debate over consequences, crowd out substantive research about the plan, but justifications force us to interrogate. And on the link debate, you can group the link terms. First is the occlusion of care link extended. The plan guarantees massive cuts to social welfare. We have hyper-specific evidence about the jobs guarantee that says it will be used as a justification to slash safety nets for those that aren't productive. That's king. Healthcare for children, social security for old people will be cut. Millions of people will be with disabilities will be left to die. That turns both inequality and democracy. It ensures tens of millions are mired in permanent inequality and is profoundly anti-democratic. This is not a managerialism bad. Wrong link. The Communist Party would establish policies which overcomes their only defense. Second is the trick of choice link. Johns Creek has set the wage floor for the jobs guarantee above the minimum wage of nearly every state. That creates a flood of 40 million workers joining the program with more slots than they can fill. That means people are hired in cheap, exploitative labor doing menial jobs. The Fed uses this power to engage in, quote, price stabilization that guts the program into nothingness. This not only turns their explanation of economics, this is uniqueness for the alternative. A lack of a social safety net means that those 40 million workers fall into our dual power organizing against the government. Third is the union stuff. You can group all the link terms because we're impact turning unions. A is the fragmentation. To said unionization would collapse the alternative. It would splinter the working class, distract us from organization. The Chicago Teachers Union fighting the police department union proves. Second is that the B is that the reading of history is revisionist and ignores the incorporation of unions as essential tools of capitalism. They discipline the working class, generate austerity, bolster war making, and lock in extinction. In Tosh 16, unions discipline and control the working class are enemies of the integral part of the capital. Obstacles to class struggle. The AFL and IWW both incorporated the apparatus of capital. Roosevelt recognized that unions were a necessity for a way out of the depression. The result was industrial unions whose role was control and domination. The more sophisticated years have become necessary. Church dragoons cannot be dependent to ensure control. Instead, the workers constructed as a subject. The unions have become vital, economically important factor in the management where reps sit on the board and the leverage of the largest corporations among the biggest shareholders legally mandated investments politically play a preponderant role shaping policy and position of austerity in the working class during crisis and mobilization for the war. The unions have become the guarantee of labor peace, loyal to the nation, capital's reduction, and the whole species. Unions mostly judged on their incorporation the apparatus of capital, not on the basis of their capacity to deliver a better contract in exchange for labor peace. The unions will see recognized for what they have become, enemies that have nothing to offer. C is that unions are steeped in anti-blackness. Black workers are excluded from leadership, membership, and benefits, and the jobs of themselves. This guarantees failure and makes the all try or die. You should hold the line on U1AR extrapolations because none of their cards actually say the word union. Watson 21. Jobs are designed to remain white. Unions administer tests to ensure failure. Difficult for black workers then to remain and grow. Many black people would rather give up when a strategy fails. Union members are still to intimidation. The catch-22 requiring a worker to have a job prior to being admitted, also requiring membership before jobs, no longer refusing communication, silencing cloak. The structural racism operating within unions by displacing the conscience on a black person, blaze, bias gatekeepers, union place members on the board, bias dispatchers keep unions white if they have to ask questions, seen to jobs hundreds of miles away, discriminatory testing unions failing nearly every black applicant subject to rejection is so subjective and open to abuse, enables old boys club, explicit racism, racist language, and dangerous situations. No black people will ever work out of this union. Accidents on the job, bolts drop the steel beam to a head, live wires aren't relics of the past. Last year, nooses left at construction sites, voter suppression exclude black people from participating. 100% of leadership is white recruiting, white not a single reunion will disclose the number of black members. Jurors, union votes will never be sufficient to correct for racist policy, suffocates leadership. It's clear who the many are being served by the system. D is that it's used by unions are used by populists and fascists to generate hatred against the working class. That was Robinson from the 1 and C. I'll do the perms. You can group all of them. One, they sever. They should be tied to the reps and scholarship. Anything else is arbitrary. It moves NEG ground and makes the F conditional, which undermines critical education. Second is their intrinsic. The alternative interrogates the 1 and C's epistemology. The perm would add an element outside the all, which moves negative ground. Third is that they're mutually exclusive. Their reforms are marked by legacies of policy failure. Only the all organizes towards tenable change. Fellow 16 scholars and activists look to saving capital to accommodate demands by legislation reforms and other concessions such as approaches and the structures that produce injustice in the first place. Working with those entities risk reinforcing legitimacy rather than reformist approaches, critical studies which are analyses and actions beyond the human, the state, and capital. Four is the de-radicalization. Just how the perm is used explained using certain parts of the all that are compatible with the plan that dooms the all to for reformism. It's like voting for the Freedom Caucus to defund the police. Five is the performance. It's at the move to defend our alternative. After the disavowal of anti-capitalist pedagogies proves that the 1AC is reflected in the state's deceiving and ever-changing programs that work to undermine class struggle. Six is that all links above are dissets of the perm. I'll go to the impact debate now. The 1AC is a misdiagnosis of the problem of the 21st century. Capitalism is in crisis, and we need an alternative to it now more than ever. I'm going for four impacts. The first is extinction. Capitalism requires subjugating the fundamentals of existence to the profit imperative, treating land and labor as commodity. Guarantees ecological crises from warming and diseases that are existential. Second is exploitation through the extraction of labor, dispossession of land, and refinement of the tools of neocolonials. And third is disease. People in poverty are forced to live in abhorrent conditions, which gives disease time to fester, develop, and spread rapidly. Turns and outweighs their impact since nobody sees it coming. And even if we're prepared, the desire to protect profits means nobody gets the cures. Fourth is fascism. The square is shifting to 0 to 10 tolerance, where governments become far-right autocracies that genocide millions. Turns and outweighs their impact since fascism intensifies all global crises and makes rapid responses over diversity of thought impossible. You can group all the case outweighs arguments. We've one root cause claims and their proximate solutions fail. The first is war. A, it's driven by economic growth. Nations can't launch assaults on other nations when their economy is in decline. They don't have the means to fund troops, equipment, leadership, or anything else. When the nation is broke, that'll be more on case. B is that any residual defense they win to this is thumped by the profit imperative. War hawks manipulate agendas to launch war for land and resources. O'Hagan 17. Iraq was to reduce the corporation tax to 15%, dispose of empire, display in the Middle East, Libya, basically liberalizing the socialist-oriented economy and including WTO membership and privatization. The majority found their lives harder as the standards of living are ruined. Global competition, united efforts to capture scarce minerals powers, endorse open market finance, and new mode of war for financing for land resources and tribute American adventures undermine the sovereignty of other nations. A is that capital. You can ignore that. Yeah. So B is that it's second is the climate impact. Overfishing, emissions, soil health, and deforestation cannot be solved under capitalism. It drives interlocking eco-crises at every level, which causes extinction. Morrow 22. Climate, mass extinction, and lasting damage of radioactive waste, deforestation, wetland loss, and pollution by organic toxins, impacts of unforeseen consequences, mutually transforming effects, soil degrading so such that carbon can be released and contribute to global warming. Organisms die locally, changes in one ecoregion affect the status of other ecoregions, led to microplastics pollution. 1 million life radically altered planet. Less suitable to life form states have been like military enforcement organs, ecological devastation, ensure that reproduction supports profit making, all partaking life destroying tendency. Third is their inequality impacts. They've got it backwards. Cap maximizes wealth centralization, which is the key internal link they can't resolve. Wolf 11. Capitalism's periodic crises have always increased poverty. Shareholders, stuck on board of directors, two tiny groups, and all the key decisions to aim to lower the number of workers on their wages. They automate, export, and replace higher paid wages by recruiting substitute. The less paid to workers, the more corporate revenue goes to satisfy shareholders. On all the cap good stuff, you can cross apply the war and inequality stuff from above. They're wrong, and there will be more on case. Go back to the union stuff on the link. I'll send this card out. And unions are anti-revolutionary tools of capitalism that oppress the proletariat, makes workers complacent with the conditions of exploitation, and projects the externalities of subjugation onto the other, which co-opts the alt. Stephen 16. Unions are enemies of the working class, integral part of the capitalist system, not just corrupt, but also those who believe in grassroots democracy or revolution, have screwed workers, contain struggle, spread capitalist ideology, acted as the police on the shop floor. Struggle doesn't go beyond wage. Many still see the unions as imperfect organizations. What to do when the workers most willingly fight those shop stewards and others who are ardently defending unions, not the leadership of an organization. Unions are counter-revolutionary against the working class in their daily practice. practice their existence a necessity because the capitalist unions will side with capital against the workers. A test of that integration came when many millions of pearl change were slaughtered, signal a new paradigm in unions. The market observes them, accords them one niche, marginalizes them, makes them disappear. Company management of human resources, the most radical market change. There are no progressive factions of capital in the revolutionary struggle. I'll mark that card in struggle and I'll send it out.
Yeah, just can you send it?
Sent.
Alright, cool.
Wait, one sec. Let me get it. Alright, I'm good. We can go for
Alright, okay. Alright. Now, so like, how does the Communist Party, or at least the alternative, solve for all of these impacts? Like
Okay,
you, like
well-
I've seen that you read. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Couple of things. Like I believe that the alternative could resolve every link. Like first with like the trick of choice link, there is no.
Wait, I know. I've also. I've seen all the links, but like, how are you specifically solving these impacts? Like, you've read me a bunch of impacts, but how are you solving for these?
Sure. It's a couple things. One, the question of the debate is whether the AFF is a good idea or not. We believe that all of these impacts are key internal links to the AFF that not only can they not resolve, rather this is a proximate solutions fail claim, i.e. the AFF's AFF's attempt to address these impacts makes them worse, thus the AFF is a bad idea. We believe that the alternative reconciles all, if not most of these impacts.
Okay, how?
One, a dual power system would overthrow the federal government.
What does a dual power system look like?
Sure. First, because the federal jobs guarantee slashes safety nets, i.e. austerity means there's no such thing as SNAP, WIC, etc., and the trick of choice link proves that most people will not receive a
so
jobs
it's like,
guarantee.
is this dual power link like done by like the government?
No,
like how is
power,
it done?
Dual power is the alternative. So all those people
Well,
who
yeah,
no longer have a social safety net fall through the cracks of the system and instead
Right.
go to
The
our
system.
method of organizing. So dual power is a system, a structure outside of the federal government that catches people when they fall, builds up things like mutual aid. Like,
Okay, so dual power system is outside the federal government. That's what you
yes,
just said,
and
right?
once
So
they
who
reach
does
enough
it?
strength to overthrow the federal government, they will and
Okay,
establish the
but
Communist Party.
who are those people? Like
All the
who
people, the 40 million workers who do not get a job in your jobs guarantee.
So like, is there like a certain president or something like that? Like,
Well,
like
one,
how
we
does like
fiated the alternative, which you have not disputed in the 2AC, so that would be a new argument in the 1AR. So we fiated like the dual power organization. Second is that like, I'm like confused as to your question. Like the dual power system would organize and overthrow the federal government when it has enough strength.
Can you explain the performance dissat?
Yeah, you
Wait,
said
those were the only two dissats you read, de-radicalization and performance?
yes.
Okay,
You
cool.
said you said cap good, and then you said perm. We can do this.
Two conditional. That's it?
I mean, like that's basically the thesis of the dissad. It's
Okay.
like you said the AF increases cap is good, but we can do the permutation. The K is saying cap is bad.
Okay.
Alright, okay, cool. And then on the inequality, okay, so yeah, on the inequality impact term, right? I'm just a little bit confused on this personal part that like wait, can you first of all explain the fragmentation dissat?
The fragmentation dissad, yeah, it's like not all unions get along. It's not like some utopian world. A lot of unions actually do not get along. They
Wait,
engage in-
fragmentation,
Wait, so how do you like
performance, and de-radicalization?
fragmentation is
It's
a
like- it's
dissad
like
to unions.
Dissat
Oh,
to
okay.
unions, okay. But like okay, whatever. That's like about to be time. Okay, it's fine.
1R was sent out.
What's the order?
Cap and case in the order of 1AC, 2AC. I mean, sorry. Advantage 1 advantage. I wasn't on that.
Alright, yeah. Did you send anything?
Oh, yeah, I sent it off.
Okay. Let me just refresh it.
I'm good.
Okay, I got it.
Everyone good?
Yeah.
Cap case. The alt is affirming the model of the Communist Party base building. Dual power building is able to meet people's needs through things like ag and food distribution programs, water, shelter, extraction that demonstrates revolution is possible, according mobilizing, radicalizing the base by a unified, accountable, and educating public Communist Party. Any firms fail because the act maintains tied to the umbilical cord of a capitalist state. Only complete separate can prevent exploitation of capitalist policies. That was the Burns card. I'll do all the all fail stuff here. First, wow. 2AC 7A was some point A was the Ferritin takeover stuff, but it flows the other way. It creates verticalism, which is good. The only way to check back against infiltration and abuse is to have organized power structures. One is the parties, the democratic centralized organized apparatus. Decisions are made democratically by card-carrying minority members who can openly debate actions. But this does not mean one person will vote. Things that are not in line with the values of the party get shut down. Certain people's voices who are underrepresented are disproportionately represented in democratic centralism. Two is that accountability mechanisms are key, which the all provides to keep the party in mind and call-ins, talks, independent review boards, etc. All check back against infiltration and abuse. Rosemont Blues, there's a communist collective in New York that successfully kicked out chauvinistic power. Proves that power doesn't see the vote. Three is that the alt dual power institutions build unity along the party line. That makes the revolution tenable, ensuring independent checks against science and unequal power distribution, which checks back against the union fragmentation. This Escalante 18 base power building of dual power strategy, best forwarded through party organizing that allows to solidify into revolutionary socialist tendency. Revolution is not currently possible. Dual power response building institutions mean people's need to demonstrate your communist offer relief from capitalism to mobilize the base. They have already done the work of building communist party. They build institutions to do dual power in the name of communism. Have a public face as a communist party membership is formally unified around party line, different right, Democrats central decision making for holding party members accountable, like unified action that educate, aiding the empowering communities to theorize through communist theory while organizing fight for liberation, form structures allow individual locals to have the voice and open debate, but also allow for unified strategy, party organizing allows for organizers to be held accountable, allows criticism to function with unity, working to sharpen strategies and correct chauvinistic ideas and accountability, excruciating imperialist and colonial idea frequently inflict disorganizing, creating form of procedure allows to address these consistent problems. The organization ought to adopt party model also like recruitment, education, commons practice, and military party codes, defending institutions from state terrorists. I hope that we see future unification base building organizations in a national party, that a unified national party will be a national party with a long-term goal. And four, the warrant of the card is about military intervention. Nothing happens because the military is being courted by the proletariat. 7B was the co-option argument, but one, there's no co-option. That was the verticalism warrants above. And two, because checks solve. And two is that union. Two is that the card doesn't indicate unions. No advocacy in the 1AC to prevent historical racism from perpetuating means that this card only links to the AFF. And four, three, any claims of utopian dreaming are false. Clarified on the explanation. And four, you can cross-play that card that I read from subpoint A onto the co-option argument here. Next, subpoint C was the vague alt argument, but there was no link. It was a very specific mechanism of how we achieve that. The explanation of alt done above, and there's no line for what is a gender intervention is that it kills standards because biases will always exist. Constantly shifting goalposts to perpetuate, which then can never compare and cross-check checks and reject the argument, not the team. Subpoint D was the state co-option argument, but crossed by the military is courted by the proletariat from subpoint A, and state power will back off desperation for public legitimacy and support fueled by social protests left politicians open to concede market failures. That's Helfrich and Bowler. 19, state power let investors limit their liability of it because organizational separate public good state recognize them as value generating commoners by granting institutions legal standing state and advantageous to authorize and support commoning under right circumstances. Those who build state power mindful of the need of public support and legitimacy looking for credible ways to escape the iron cage of neoliberal capitalism political trend market state is incapable of fulfilling. Next case, advantage one. Extend 1 and C to the growth sustainable stuff was done on the capital, but I answer the new card here is the A is transition wars inevitable, how they happened under capitalism. That's Robinson 22. All existential predicament has a common denominator. Global capitalist system capitalism faces economic accumulation, face violent crisis of legitimacy, system is rapidly losing ideological hegemony. Existing state of affairs cannot be sustained. Crisis state communities across the world. Global police states cannot be sustained indefinitely apart from massive widespread conflict. Global civil war collapse of the ag-resource depletion, production, and supply lines would not make the fortress sustainable. Two is that there's no war. One of the soldiers would be part of the revolution against the bourgeoisie. Bolshevik revolution proves. Three is conversion of the anti-capitalist organizations and looks well proof that the alt successful that someone's on a 20 card. There's no war. And four is that there's no war for four is that growth increases the likelihood of war. That's the loud card resource requirement for wars. Meaning that in terms of economic growth is less likely to hinder the start of a war. Any reason and there's a reason for war in all stages of the economic cycle. There's no answer to this specific part. Warrants of the card. Only generic answers about sustainability because war is likely to happen. Econ growth classified as a civil war scenario on advantage two that answers it. And I'll extend 1 and C3 here. It's a secular stagnation. That secular stagnation is inevitable because their democracy is shifting. Shrinking population causes less demand and increased stagnation. It sucks because the U.S. is moving toward older population and smaller birth rates. The census proves there's no specific response to these specific warrants, which is that you slash the impact off your flow because either it's inevitable or only capitalism is able to solve worker advantage. I'll extend that they can't solve big farms, all causes that they can't solve for. It takes out the internal to both scenarios. It still hasn't been explained. Only answer was that they solve for the future, but no, they can't make sure that people buy from smaller farms and not big ag. Means profit incentive keeps them in use. Only move away from capitalism can prevent chemical runoff. And the Civil War stuff you can cross by the impact from advantage 1. No internal link. The Turchin card is about inequality. It doesn't indicate it leads to Civil War.
708. I stopped time. Oh, 151. It's one card, so I just sent it to the body of the email. Otherwise, my card. Yeah.
Got the card.
Judge. Just get the card. Start and resilient recession, down weak job creation, waste stagnation, short economic growth, down during that collapses the economy, economic collapse causes extinction, it's a crisis accelerating that makes conflict and inevitable and more dangerous. Now they say growth is sustainable, they are wrong, except when I see Route 21 that they still haven't responded to that capitalism is sustainable, will do that work on the K, but then they say now on no stagnation, yes stagnation, and now all of economic studies are pre-COVID, it doesn't exhume one of the largest economic guys this century. Now on agriculture can see there's no link to big pharma and can see that agriculture scenario on unions, weak domestic unions in the status quo ensure that authoritarianism fails, but only a job guarantee and ensure and attack the root of inequality. Now, I'll get to this more on the dissent, but remember, this is only unions that go against the capitalist system and the working class, not the unions that their evidence describes. Now, they say that unions can't solve. There's no reason why all people are offered the jobs to the poor gets his jobs, so the economy evens out in the private sector. The K. Oh my God, on framework, they have conceded advocacy skills, which is the only standard I'm going to go for now. You really shouldn't allow new answers for this because if we predicated our entire strategy upon this, now interpretation, evaluate the consequences of the implementation, but then with specific links to the plan and plan focus, now the counter interpretation doesn't solve for any of the for advocacy skills because it's not specific, but we definitely get to weigh because they have made extinction claims themselves, so it's only about plan focus links now, and they haven't read any now. One, they say predictable, but only if it's plan focused. Now, two, they say education. This is the only thing they can spin off for advocacy skills, but that's functionally different because the advocacy skills is that the AFF is a form of role experimentation, allowing debaters to imagine alternate futures and engage in contingent micro-political experiments. This builds commonality and political engagement. They drop advocacy skills. It outweighs all the standards because it can imagine alternative futures and engage in experiments if there's no possible education class to be done. Now, the link is strong because we keep plan focus again. We can come for new policies which are key to education and developing clash and turns the negatives impacts on capitalism because it creates the same violent system. But AGOD 18 from the 1AC says that we can change these advocacy systems if we involve ourselves in the political system. Now, case outweighs. The affirmative outweighs solving secular stagnation, avoids hotspot escalations and proliferation risks. That's Oppenheimer. Now, B, the affirmative investment in the economy, skip that, but then the air impacts are wrong and unsolvable. Few things. A, there's no line of reasoning that causes links to critiques impacts that they have established. The link either way, capitalism is good because of war, poverty, and inequality, and we have extended climate parts. We'll go to those cards later. Now, two, framing issues. One, extinction comes now. Absent capitalism, profit, and motive, incentives, and new technology that makes resources infinite, agree to diplomatic international relations between traditionally warring states and funding space colonization methods would allow for a resource crisis. Now, two is that the world is getting materially better, poverty is declining post-rapid industrial revolution, all other metrics solves and or evidence as that experienced by, but a risk of capitalism creates a better rules means that you should let it run through if we risk any sense of the impact scenario. Now, capitalism solves environmental destruction. Renomi says that market economies create union incentives, and then I'll go on to capitalism is sustainable later. Now on to permutation. The permutations solves. They say severance. We aren't capitalism. We'll prove that on the no link debate. They say intrinsic. What element does it outside of the all? They don't say that. Now they say mutually exclusive. We'll win it on the link debate. Now de-radicalization decide. No, we do the entirety of the all, not parts of it. Now they say performance decide. This is a perfcon argument, not a perfcon argument. There's not a decide, but they haven't said where perfcon is bad. The two arguments are conditional, which means we can go for either one of them in the two-way are now only political. Will actually skip the card on the link. on the link, they say that it's not managerialism. They didn't even extend what the link actually was, but even then, extend NGOD 18 that we have to make a change in the actual political system. Now, on the wage link, that we say that $15 is, they talk about how too many people come in, but the evidence says the opposite of that, says $15, which means that it's not cheap labor, and that we get to feel job guarantee, which means it can't get twisted. But then $15 is less than median income, so it's only a temporary job, and not everybody joins in. Now, on the welfare state, they conceded the card that we read on Presley 21, who specifically states that it would actually increase the amount of safety programs and not cut from any of them. Now on the unions thing, this is the only thing they can win on, but no fragmentation on this side. The key differences is low income people on the police example. No reason why police are key for the alternative work. Now B, their evidence is the first piece of evidence says that unions for large corporations, but the link evidence is of the one in C is low income. Now C is that the evidence is about one member in Seattle being racist, so reject the person of the team. Now on all fails, risk authoritarianism, and we're wrong with the dual power system will never work, because there's no way the Communist Party results in stopping the impacts. The only way you can get an value if you vote on the Escalante card, and that is horrible. The card says little on how socialist even works. Now, B, the all fails, the only mass mobilization. They have, they say no co-option drops. Gustella warns that post-work utopia are often painted in rosy colors, but causes xenophobia, because the communism parties cause xenophobia. He dropped that. Now the all is wrong. It results in state sabotage, which means that state power is needed, which will result in state sabotage. Sorry, that was time.
How much time?
3:47.
Okay. Perfect.
and let me know when I ask. I'll be good.
Intensifying fascism and nuclear war is coming now. Only way to stop it is voting NEG. 1. The alternative solves all the impacts of the app and avoids the links. Too little, too late in the 1AR mean to hold the line on you. 2AR extrapolations. Too far, too little explanation on the link level means you can comfortably vote NEG on the links. They're all case turns that prove proximate solutions worsen all their impacts. 3. Even if the impacts of the case straight outweighs no impact work in the 1AR means you can vote on 100% risk of global nuclear war now outweighs a mitigated risk of economic war. I'll start with the framework debate. No why the 1AR spent so long on this point. All links are reasons why the app is uniquely worse than the status quo, and the alternative is a method to avoid them, but we still get links to justifications. 1, it was implicitly conceded when the 1AR spends time talking about things like author qualifications, deeper implications of the app, and the impacts, all of which are justifications, i.e. we can characterize the app how we want it per the austerity link. 2 is that the K is a form of political imagination. Even the 1AR concedes this answers their only extended standard, but it's all irrelevant because the 1AR did not tell you how this frames your ballot means that you should default to voting for the team that best avoids extinction. I'll go to the impact debate now. I'm going for the war and fascism stuff. First is Ward. Capitalism projects proxy wars across the global south for resources, which is the only coherent explanation for war you've heard in the entire debate. That was Robinson and the war evidence I read in the 2 and C. There was no refutation except the secular stagnation stuff, which I'll get to on case, but it means that you should default to 100% risk of nuclear exchange in places like Sudan for rare earth metals. The second is the fascism impact, which goes cold conceded. That was Robinson. It turns the app because all methods of governance, such as economics, are all uniquely worse under a fascist government, which is proven by things like the unions link, the links. All the links are case turns. First is the unions link. It was not answered. A, they project war making. That was the Stevens link. It polices workers and indoctrinates them into fascism by turning them into agents of the state that only look for a better contract at the expense of people in the global south. B, it turns the app because they exclude certain people. It cements inequality. Their only answer to the anti-blackness turn was that it's about one person in Seattle. No, go read it. It's about anti-blackness being cemented in unions across the United States based on a case study in Seattle. Plus, it's irrelevant because the 1AR and 2AC read zero evidence that even said the word, quote, union means. It's a disadd to the method of organizing that the app embraces. C, it's solved by the alternative, but not the permutation, because organizing in the party is democratic verticalism, not elite governance, which solves all of the union's bad stuff. Second is the trick of choice link. The 1AR is still misunderstanding how this link works. The point is there are 40 million workers in the United States earning less than $15 an hour. Means the jobs guarantee would cost them all to join in. This makes the federal government the ultimate authority in deciding their wage. This is a post-fiat link, means they can't just say we fiat out of it. This is not about managerialism, so I don't understand how this index applies to the link. It's about how the federal government having total discipline over 40 million is 1, uniqueness for the alternative because it allows people to join dual power, but 2, extremely bad because it all makes them agents of the states. The only residual offense they have here is the cap good debate. It's wrong. One, they didn't answer any of the warrants. We've won that war making is A, motivated by economic growth, and B, they dropped the Warhawks warrants. Warhawks in Congress will always go to war only driven by profit, not the economy. The only other thing they have is economic, but we've won the internal link to inequality being wealth accumulation, which they can't resolve. It also means proximate solutions fail because all 40 million people who joined the jobs guarantee will only have worsened inequality and move to fascism, which triggers the impact of the alt solves all of this. 1, the links are uniqueness for the alt. All the people failed by the app will move to dual power, which courts the proletariat and then works to overthrow the government after they have enough people. They conceded this. It avoids the links, which I did on the link debate proper, and the alt fail stuff was too short in the 1AR, but it's irrelevant. They made the uniqueness argument that economic collapse is inevitable and that millions will be out of jobs. That's our argument for alt solvency, and the alt channels that despair and to strengthen existing movements to reclaim the state. All of these are reasons why the permutation works, which they did not answer. Case. Advantage 1, only impact extended is the secular stagnation stuff. It's inevitable because of a shrinking population, less demand intensified by an older population and smaller birth rates. That's been the trend, means their impacts are inevitable in our current capital state, but the cap alt solves by reorienting our approach. This went dropped. The only answer was that it was old and pre-COVID, which does not apply to this card. Advantage 2. All the union stuff on cap functions as a disadd to the scenario. That's the cap debate. No impact extended frames your ballot. Any risk of the cap impacts exacerbated by unions means you vote neg because there's no benefit to having unions. Hold the line because we don't get a 3AR. Either way, Turchin doesn't indicate it leads to civil war, which went dropped. the co-option stuff, which they extended the last 5 seconds, is wrong. A, verticalism checks it. The accountability mechanisms all went drop. B, the card doesn't mention unions again. C, it only links to the negative because that was the union stuff bad earlier. And D is that the only explanation was that the alt was rosy utopianism, but this doesn't link because they've conceded the alternative.
Okay, that's 51.
Yeah.
Starting. Yeah.
Case get. Resilience, recessions are inevitable, weak job creation, wake stagnation, sure economic downturn, the collapse of the economy, economic collapse, causes the crisis settlement, makes conflict inevitable, more dangerous with the plan, solves it, increases job creation, wages, while protecting state revenues, and the key to emerging tech regulation, growth, the 1 and C1, the first response, they're wrong, extend 1 and C, or row 21 that says capitalism is sustainable and self-correcting, and that profits, income, savings are all brought to convenience, are all trending upward, and that the public investments ensures that activity, yes, I'll do war on the cane, growth does not increase, war increase peace, I'll do that specifically on the cap sustainable debate, and that and no stagnation, it's wrong, yes, stagnation now, all the economic studies are pre-COVID. Yes, it is important because it doesn't assume one of the largest employment spikes in the history, nor a falling GDP or a lack of sustainable jobs or inflation. Unions. Weak domestic unions and this will ensure authoritarianism prevails, but only a job guarantee can ensure unions attack the root of inequality. Building social solidarity is key to stopping popular submission from threatening the collapse of the American society. They say that Turchin doesn't talk about a civil war, literally quoting from the one I see. It literally says Turchin, civil war. You can read it yourself. You are voting on the drop permutation. The easiest place to put your ballot is the permutation. If you don't buy that, the all being xenophobic and racist means that it never solved its drop. Now, the framework, I'll start there. They say that the counter division is wrong. It doesn't solve or anything for advocacy skills because it's not specific, but then we definitely get to way that they have made exchanging claims themselves. It's just about the land focus links now. Now, on predictability, only if there's land focus can we actually be predictable. And then education is wrong because they can spin, but the things they have not said are related to this debate. But advocacy skills is dropped again. The dropped advocacy outweighs and link turns all of their standards because if we cannot imagine alternative futures engaged in experiments, there is no possible education or class to be done. The link is strong because if we keep land focused, we can discover new policies, which is key to creating education, developing class, and turns the negatives and bad advocacy skills outweighs everything. Basically, they've just extended their impacts, but we've impact turned and link turned their impact, which means we're definitely winning now.
Not impact.
Not impact. Oh, I don't know why I said that. Case how ways. Their impacts are all wrong. They're all unsolvable. There is no line of reasoning that the links cause the critiques impacts. First of all, they've only tried to establish. There's only the main thing is that fascism goes turn because the union's two framing. I'll do that later on the xenophobic arguments. But two framing issue. One extinction comes now. Absent capitalism, profit motives incentivize new technologies, and the world is getting materially better because poverty is declining rapidly post-industrial revolution. Now, capitalism is sustainable because McAfee says capitalism is sustainable because profit motive led to new development in tech, AI, solar, 3D printing, machine learning are all warrants now on their impact. Specifically, the war impact that is wrong. Miss So 19 preempts this because war is only determined to protect the global world order, and capitalism specifically says this because war is moving rapidly towards peace, and that capitalism is the root cause of this. They haven't responded to that. Now the perm is dropped. I'm gonna do a lot of time here because if you want to take the responses from the NEG blog, go ahead, but they're dropped. I'll do it here. They say severance, we aren't capitalism. They say intrinsic, what element does the outside add outside the all in the planets, only those two. Then they say we will win it on mutually exclusive. We will win it on the link debate, and the de-radicalization dissent is wrong. No, we do the entirety of the all, not parts of it. And the performance dissent is wrong. It's two arguments. This isn't perfect long. We can go move on. Only political will generated through the permutation allows for true anti-capitalist society. Right 15 is very specific on how no economy has been truly capitalistic and how it is impossible if we combine with the social democratic aspect, not only communism. Now, right 15 is very key about how we can be anti-capitalist in the 21st century while smashing capitalism. That you can personally do both. That social democracy not only neutralizes the harm of capitalism, but facilitates it initiatives to build real world utopias. It's dropped. Now, either way, if you don't, onto the link. On the wage link, we say that it's wrong. $15 card goes AFF, talks about why workers are earning less than $15 in the private sector. Their evidence says the opposite of that, but it's $15, which means it's not cheap labor. We find fiat the job guarantee, which means it can't get twisted, but either it is less than medium income, so it's temporary. We have red evidence on the econ that these jobs are temporary, stay temporary. Biggest thing is that Ray All 18 specifically says why these are temporary jobs. Now the welfare state link, no, we deficit has been through a counter-cyclical budget, meaning that we won't trade off from any programs that have a mandate of the plan, but it goes drop, but acts as a link turn, boosting the permutation, and it says that expands social security, which turns the link. Now the all. I'm only going for one argument on the all, and that is racist, and through unions can provide a collective program that militates against otherwise all else inevitable racism and xenophobia. They say they have one response here, and that no co-option strikes, but it's wrong. Casello warns them conceded because post-war utopias are often painted in rosy colors where individuals are free to explore their own drives and desires. Now, the union scenario, I'll quickly do a quick overview because only through a JG can we actually destroy the root of inequality and build social solidarity while also empowering unions and providing for the working class.
No, that's not time. That's not time.
Okay.
Keep reading it.
Oh, and without the JG, U.S. societal collapse goes nuclear extent, which leads to exchange election law. And I have 15 seconds. Okay, look. I really don't care if you didn't buy anything else because the perm is dropped. I mean, you just do both. It's very
And
simple.
the link turn as a
And
boost.
the link turn is a boost. This debate's over. And the AFF is strong. Okay.
Great.